YouTube? We're back again today for another game review, an official tag team review. Boom! I'm here with my son Sean. We're going to be talking about Reef Route from Brain Games. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 5+, and it'll take about 15 minutes to play. And what is Reef Route, buddy?
A game.
It's a game, but it's like Sharks and Minnows, right?
Yeah.
Which is a game that you play at school. So what's Sharks and Minnows?
All the minnows line up on the red wall, and all the sharks line up on the red line.
And they try the minnows trying to get past the sharks?
Yeah, really quick.
Yep, so this is a board game version of Sharks and Minnows, which is a popular game that kids play at schools all around the country, potentially all around the world. Does it have a good conversion, though? Let's open it up, and we'll tell you what we think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at how you're going to play Reef Route. So first and foremost, we got our handy-dandy rule sheet. It is one page, double-sided. You got pictures, illustrations, pretty well done. I wish there was maybe just a little bit clearer explanation of what happens if a fish intentionally runs into a shark, or if a shark's bottom hits a fish. I'm assuming they both get eaten, but still it would have been nice if they would have clarified it. But in the end, it's a well-done rule booklet. It should have you up and running in no time at all. So, Reef Route, as my son has so eloquently put it, is essentially Sharks and Minnows, the board game. So what's going to happen is you're going to take control of one particular color of minnows. And you're going to have 3 or 4 minnows of that color on the board. If you want to play with a little bit of a shorter game, you put the 3 out there. You want a little bit longer game, you put the 4 out there. Next, you're going to choose which 3 of the sharks, the big baddies, you're going to be put out on the board. And likewise, if you want to make it slightly more difficult, you can put out maybe an extra 4th shark as well to go crazy. But yeah, so you're going to have a nice variety of sharks to put out on the board. Everyone's going to have their little tile in front of them, and then you're going to place the minnows on the board. Now, I already have done this, but how this works is you're going to take turns doing that, so blue, green, red, yellow, but you have to put your first minnow on the far left side, and then you can place the second, third, and fourth minnow wherever you want in these first 2 spaces, and then you're ready to play the game. How this works is the first player is going to roll the dice, and on the dice you're going to have sharks, and you're going to have each of the colors of fish in the game. And how this works is you have to move the shark first. So if you roll a shark, you have to move a shark, and a shark can go up or down or to the left. That's the only way they could go. They are always heading towards fish or up or down. So for instance, I might just go ahead and move the shark 1 space, and then I would move red 1 space. Now, since I am not red, I am blue, that means I can only move a red forward, and that would mean that I could move this red or this red or this red because there's nowhere to go, so I'd have to move this red 1 space forward. So if you're moving someone else's fish, you have to move it just forward. If you're moving your fish, then you can go up, down, or right, much like the sharks over here. So now green's going to go, and they got a shark and a blue, so they might move this shark 1 space, they might move this blue, move that guy for whatever reason. Red's going to go now, and once again, shark's moving closer, green's moving closer. This is yellow's roll. And apparently no one is going to actually get to move their own fish. So red and green are going closer and closer to danger and death. Blue's going now. Shark's going twice. And we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2. So now this is bad news for this green fish because he's got a big wall of sharks over here potentially about to eat him. Green's turn. Green did not help himself out, but he's going to push red a little bit closer to death. Yellow's going to go forward. Red's going to go. You get the idea. But eventually what's going to happen is you're going to run into sharks. The sharks are going to run into you, and they will eat you. What you're trying to do is get all the way to the other side of the board. If you get over to the other side of the board, aka the reef, without getting eaten by a shark, then you automatically win the game. Also, if all the other colors of fish are eliminated from the game, doesn't happen, I've never seen it actually happen, then you will win the game as well. But that in a nutshell is how you're going to play Reef Route. Alrighty then, Reef Route from Brain Games. What are our final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. You like doing that part? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First on the con side, 2 to 4 players, restricted player count. What did you not like about the game, buddy?
I didn't.
Sit up a little bit.
I didn't like when the sharks ate me.
Yep, so that's definitely an aspect of the game, and there is player elimination in this game. So if all your minnows get eaten, then you are completely out of the game. It's such a short game that it's not a big deal, but in children's games, it can be a little bit of a bummer, even if you're out of the game for only a minute if you're a kid. Now, one comment that I had with this game is it just felt a little bit weird and wonky how it worked when you got eaten by it. Like, if a shark hits you with its bottom, like if the shark goes down, does it eat you then? Can you physically go into the shark? So let's say you have to move blue, and the only blue minnow that you can move then goes into the shark's mouth. Are you supposed to then move it? The rules don't 100% clarify how that works. I'm assuming that yes, since you're so close to the shark, it just eats you, and yes, you have to move into the shark if you're forced into that circumstance. But it would have been nice if the rules would have cleaned that up a little bit, because the rules, they definitely have a little bit more room where they could have put some of those important, FAQ style questions, but I only have like one or two of those. Also on the con side, this is a children's game. Do you think you could teach this to Kylie and Maxim, this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could. Definitely a children's game. I'd put it in a children's game, a family game, not a party game, not a game night game. And I also think your children will eventually outgrow this game. It says ages 5+. And how old are you again, buddy?
4.
4.5. So he picked it up, no problem. I think you could probably get a 3.5, maybe a smart 3.5-year-old to play this game as well. So it's definitely going to be a game that children will eventually outgrow. There are some ways that you can bump the difficulty by using bigger sharks, but for the most part, this is a game that kids will eventually outgrow. But moving on to the pros, did you like Reef Route?
Yeah.
What did you like most about Reef Route?
I like when I get to the finish.
When you get to the finish? Yeah, it's always nice to win, but yeah, I like it. It's short, it's simple, it's easy to learn, it's easy to teach. The rules were really easy, weren't they, buddy? The rule booklet does a decent job, even though, I wish they would have clarified a little bit about the questions that I answered earlier. But I think this is really going to attract a lot of kids to this game, just telling them that it's sharks and minnows, because I know a lot of kids have played that game, and that's going to make it easier to explain the rules as well, because it's just, hey, you're trying to get past all these sharks, you're rolling the dice, you're moving stuff, and the kids really do enjoy it. So do you like it when you make Daddy's fish go into the shark's mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun as well. And overall, Reef Route is a good game. It's a good children/family game, especially for younger kids. And that really is the caveat here. If this were a game that were aimed at, say, kids maybe 2 or 3 years older, I would have a hard time recommending this game. But at this particular age range, with a game that can play 4-year-olds and 3.5-year-olds with relative ease, there's not too many games out on the market, and Reef Route is an enjoyable one that I definitely can recommend. It's not as good as, say, their earlier game, Ice Cool. This is definitely not as good as Ice Cool, is it, buddy? But it's still a rock-solid game, and it's still better than a good chunk of the children's games we play here at Bowers Game Corner. So Reef Route, we enjoyed it. If you have younger children, I think they will enjoy it as well, especially if they play Sharks and Minnow at home. I also liked it at all the different player counts, because then you just have different fish. You just fill it up anyway with the AFK fish, the NPC fish. But I'm rambling at this point. Reef Route, we recommend this one, right, buddy? Yep, Reef Route for Brain Games. If you got younger kids, this is one you might want to check out. If you enjoyed this review, please try to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. If you were a shark, what would be, if you were a shark, what would be your favorite place to shop at?
The fish store.
Fish store? That makes sense. I'm going to go with...
Because sharks like eating fish.
They do. I would probably go with Best Buy. Because I bet you sharks really like electronics. But let me know in the comments below. If you were a shark, where would you shop? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
Giants are not real.
Giants are not real. There's very tall people, like Flanny.
And basketball players.
Yeah, basketball players are very, very tall.
And